thank y'all for being a part of this episode of Off the Record on the Field. We're at Old Turner Field in this clubhouse. Excited to hear this conversation.
Outstanding.
And I'm joined by some legends. I'm so excited y'all were able to take some time out of your day to come in here so we can just sit back and take on this knowledge. To my left, Cito Gaston. Next to him, Gary Matthews Sr., Mr. Ralph Garr. To my right, Dusty Baker, Cece Sabathia, Edwin Jackson, and I'm Curtis Granderson. I think one of the ways I want to start this, y'all got some nicknames. I got to know where these nicknames came from now. Come on now. That wasn't what your mama gave you. How'd y'all get these nicknames? We need to hear these stories about this.
I can start real quick with mine. And first of all, back in the day, we didn't give ourselves nicknames. You had to earn whatever one they were going to give you. But personally for me, it was Sarge. Pete Rose gave me that nickname. Don't know really why, but one of the best teammates that I've ever had. And I know why he wanted hits. I mean, this guy was really unbelievable in terms of that. But he gave me that nickname, and to this day in certain cities,
Excuse me, sorry. Now,
they call me that.
You had a nickname before Pete Rose.
Okay,
since we gonna tell the truth.
That's the baby.
Well, maybe I should have said that's the nickname that I really wanted. But
I love it.
In San Francisco is what he's alluding to. That's why it's always bad to have really friends that just know everything, about you. But they used to call me Sweet all the time in San Francisco.
I love it.
One of the reasons, just because it was San Francisco, didn't know if I liked that name, but I took it as you hit the ball, Sweet, and so on. And then Tito Fuentes, his nickname was Sweet Back back in the day at that time, who was the second baseman. But yeah, unfortunately, Curtis, I had two nicknames, forgot about the first one, but I like that the second one.
But you got good friends like that that'll remind you, right?
Yeah.
I was going to remind him of it too.
Wonderful.
You forgot Sweet? Please.
So you want us to call you Sweet or Sarge?
Oh man, I like the Sarge.
All right, we got Sarge.
I like
too.
Sarge.
You sometimes,
Hey, I had to teach him how to salute.
yeah.
Huh?
Show him.
Yeah, because, man, he's out there saluting like this.
You the base arm, you got to salute the same way. It doesn't make it tough for.
Always coaching. Dusty, how'd you get your name?
Well, I got my name from my mom. I was playing in the dirt all the time. And so, I was, in my family, I've always been called Dusty. I was Johnny Jr., but nobody ever called me Junior, nobody ever called me Johnny. My daddy was Big John. And so everybody just called me Dusty.
That's it. Rolling in that dirt.
Yeah.
Stay dirty.
Stay dirty.
And that's it. And Cito, I thought that was your name.
No, it's funny. When I was about 15 years old, working in the summertime, parking cars, and had a guy named Al Thompson. And he looked at me one day, and of course, I wasn't too fond of Clarence anyway. My mom, I said to Mom, why did you name me Clarence? She said, one of your uncles named Clarence. I said, where's he at? I never met him before. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So anyway, Tom, he said, you look like that Mexican wrestler in Mexico. His name was Cito. So I said, yeah, is that right? So they all started calling me Cito. So years later, we were in Chicago. I played the first year in the big leagues under Clarence, and then I changed to Cito. A writer come up to me and said, hey, you know that guy named Clarence Gaston? I said, I have no idea who he is. Don't know who he is. I said, but you know what? If your name was Clarence, you'd be happy to be called Cito. Apologize to all the people that named Clarence, but they know what I mean. They know what I mean.
They know what I mean.
They know what I mean. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Now you got a unique one there.
Road runner. Well, mine is a copyrighted. When I came out of the minor leagues, I stole a few bases, and so when I got up here, one of the promoters here, I forget his name, Bob Hope, they wrote Time Warner and asked could they use the name Road Runner, and that's the copyright name. It's really copyrighted that and they Warner Brothers allowed the Brave to use Roadrunner as my nickname. And let me tell you, and it's been wonderful. So when I came up here, I stole about 60-something bases. So when I come up here my first year, I was running a little bit, and then they sort of said, you the Roadrunner, but you have to be a little careful on that third hitter we got here. So the Roadrunner is good, but you just need to get on because we got a third hitter there, so you don't be worried about it. He can drive you in from the dugout just as well as he can from second base, so don't worry about that too much. And then, you know, it just, the Roadrunner followed me, and everybody's been real nice about it, and I thank God for that name. It's been good to me.
Here we go again.
There you go. He know everything. He know everything.
He has another nickname.
Okay,
Tell
now,
it.
when
You
we
tell
first
it.
met, what was your name?
Ralph and I played in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah.
What they call you in Shreveport, Ralph?
Ralph Alligator Garr.
That's right. Now they right. They right.
He's sick.
They right.
He go up.
I'm
he's
sorry,
going-
like soy.
He's going.
Ralph Alligator Garr. Now that Dusty Baker don't forget nothing. He
Ralph.
always gonna throw a monkey wrench in the dish every time. But Ralph, my real name, they call him from Louisiana, cause I was from Louisiana and they called it down in the swamp where the alligators are, and that's the way I got the name Ralph Alligator Garr.
The
And
kid-
I was a garfish. Yeah, that Dusty
Ralph,
Baker
Ralph,
don't forget nothing.
Ralph, the kids in Shreveport, Louisiana go alligator Garr. Ralph used to hate it, man.
Boy, it's some good days.
Oh,
I
my
love
God.
every minute of it. Yeah, it's good. That's right.
Hey, so some great nicknames, and you talked about being in Louisiana, being in the South, and all y'all had some connections and ties to this city, Atlanta, in this state of Georgia. Edwin, I know you were born and moved all over military, but you claim Georgia's home.
I claim Columbus, Georgia is home.
Beautiful.
706. You know, it's beautiful being back in Atlanta. I mean, even when you from Savannah, you can be from Columbus, you can be from wherever you are. Everybody come to Atlanta at some point. It's the Mecca, it's the motherland. It's where everybody want to be at. It's black excellence. You know, you can come prosper out here, and so to come back here, it feel like home for me. You know, even though I'm from Columbus and I claim Columbus, coming back to Atlanta, it's still a homecoming because it's in the state of Georgia.
Yeah. And in the state of Georgia, obviously some great food here. Cece, you and I, we can eat, right? So I'm gonna put everybody on the spot here. If we had to talk about which city has the best food, are you gonna put your hometown? Are you gonna put Atlanta? Are you gonna put somewhere else? So C, where we gonna start? Where we gonna eat at with this group here?
Oh, with this group here, I think we have to go to Peachtree in Kansas City.
Kansas City, Peachtree, okay.
Soul food. That'll be my pick for this group.
All right, this group right here. Dusty, I know you told me a story. You like to get to know your players. Yeah. You like to know what they like to eat, bring them some takeout to their locker room if they're going through a little something. What you bringing us to eat?
Well, I know soul food restaurants in every town.
Every one of them.
And
One of them.
my favorite, though, is here in Atlanta.
That sure is.
And me and the Hard Garr, which I call him, it's another nickname.
Wait, so how many names is this now?
He be on me, boy. Yeah, I love it.
So in Sarge, we used to go down to the Busy Bee. And see, me and Gator went to the Busy Bee 1968, 69.
Right.
Long time ago, you know, down by the universities, right over here. And right next to, it was next to Pascal's at the time.
Right.
But we go in there, and I'd take my players in there sometime when I was on the Dodgers, guys that I played with, and they'd give me some home run ham hocks.
That's Johnny B.
Yeah.
That's Johnny B.
I'm serious.
I love it,
And
right.
then the guys, I mean, like Kenny Landreau and Pedro Guerrero, and some of these guys would really buy into the home run ham hocks. And then they start hitting home runs, 3-run homers. Then we start going there. Then they gave me the solo home run ham hocks.
Y'all can't come here and eat our food and beat us.
That's right.
That's to be on it, boy.
So
I love
eating
it.
good and playing good, and all y'all had some amazing times here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
From your playing careers, both on the field and the community, 3 seasons, 200 hits a season. You know, you and I were talking about this, and I asked you, like, with 200 hits, how many times were you bunting?
No, well, I didn't do a whole lot of bun, but it was these. I was more swinging and aggressive, so not a whole lot of bun, but I could make contact pretty good.
That's it. Swinging that thing. Yeah, Sarge, all-star. The time is fitting. You was all-star here in Atlanta. What was it like being an all-star in this city?
Well, I mean, it was, especially after Bill Lucas had passed. I mean, it was great. I mean, I fell in that category for a long time with Major League Baseball. They'd always say, man, if we could take one more guy, we'd take you. But I think a lot of us can fall in that category. But I made it that year, and I had 20 home runs there at the break. And it was just a fun time. And I think only making it once, the guys that have made it multiple times, I know they really kind of appreciate it even more so. But then to look around and then to see all the different players and so on, and it's an amazing feeling. You kind of feel like, wow, you know, I finally belong. But
That's right.
well, you know, back then we seriously had some no sense kind of guys that you know, were playing, and a lot of things that would really go on. We certainly would take care of it on the field one way, you know, or the other, in a clean way now.
Right.
You know, and especially those second basemen and shortstops, they know if somebody got hit, and
Right.
particularly like Don Baylor, somebody is getting ready to pay, and pay in a large way. But Hal McRae was another one.
Excellent.
You know.
But what's crazy, you said that so casually. 20 home runs at the break. That ain't no little thing. That's still hard to do today.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, you know, back there too in those days, that was, and being hot, I always thought it was an advantage when it's absolutely hot on a Sunday in pitching. I mean, I can remember Vita Blue being here and on a Sunday in pitching, and he could barely breathe, and going back on there because he's the one that's moving all the time. And we'd always say, hey man, hits and more hits, let's stay in this dugout. And especially too if you were in St. Louis, as hot as that turf was.
Woo, smoking. And Cito, you hit 290 here.
Yeah, you know, this place brings me back to my first month I played in the big leagues. And God, you cannot believe, and I could not believe that they put me in a room with Hank Aaron. Now, you know, he's the man. He didn't have to say, I'll take a roommate, because Hank could be in the room by himself. But God Almighty, they put me in a room, and this is my childhood idol, man. I mean, I've lived a great life. Played with my childhood idol. I learned how to tie from that man, you know. He let me use his car all the time. So it brings back great memories here for me to be here with. I didn't get a chance to play much with Hank. These guys play a little bit more, Ralph and Dusty, but this city means a lot to me because this is where I lived my childhood dream, by rooming with Hank Aaron, and of course, Ralph said that a few minutes ago. You guys asked about bunt. He can't spell bunt. I ain't talking about bunt. He didn't bunt. He's swinging.
That's it.
But this city means a lot to me, and it's a great city. I almost moved here. Wish I had it at one time. So this is a great city. Yeah, beautiful
Not too
place.
late.
No,
Go on
you're right. It's not too late.
Yeah.
Not too late.
So see, I see you got the Braves jersey on. And what number you got on there?
Oh, Hank.
You got Hank,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So
Thank you.
you saw Hank, you studied Hank. I know you're a historian. As a pitcher of your stature, looking back at someone like Hank, how would you have attacked him?
Oh my God! I mean, I don't think there's really anything you can attack him with. You know what I mean? I don't know if I could compare him to anybody that I've faced. Maybe Pujols, maybe that type of balanced hitter. I feel like that can take you pole to pole. But there's really nothing you can do with that type of hitter. You just gotta throw the ball over the plate and hope they hit it at somebody, and not in the seat. So, yeah, I mean, you know, having a chance to study Hank and understand what he meant to the game and what he meant to, like, black baseball, and how he raised all of you guys, and then in return, he raised me. You know what I'm saying? And then we get to do what we're doing. So, to me, it's just he's royalty. Like he's a king, and that's how I look at him.
And I mean, I think everybody, when they talk about them, the stories just continue to compile and just get more and more impressive. Again, you all got a chance to play, live, travel with them. I got to get inside that mind and those stories. What was it like to go on the road with Hank?
Well, first, Hank is the reason I signed pro baseball in the first place, because Hank promised my mother that he would take care of me as if I was his own son. I signed in L.A. out of high school. Right after that, that's where I met Ralph. We were in the same draft. And right after that, a week later, I met Cito. Yeah, and we were all in Double-A together.
You guys were all out of high school?
I was
He
out
was
of high
out
school.
of high school, I was out of college, and Cito ran, and they sent him to Double-A. I said, what they sending that ball? Double-A ball.
He's still mad, man.
The hell he come from? And Double-A out of high
I
school.
don't want to change the subject.
Change it. Go ahead.
Check it out. Check it out. Okay. We had a coach named Clint Courtney. So he was country as heck. Had a scrap iron. He had a truck, and he signed Gator, and he was our coach. So I go to Double-A. They shocked that I'm there because I'm out of high school, looking real skinny and stuff. So what would happen is scrap iron, with whoever got the most hits got to ride in the front of the truck, and whoever didn't got to ride in the back. I stayed in the back. I was out in the back in the rain, and Gator back there looking at me.
Boy, it was beautiful. But let me tell you, but he didn't quit. Every night and then he had me back there in that water too, boy. I don't remember. He was just. He was gritty, man. When I win, he get fighting mad.
Okay, because see, we go to bed that night, right? We say, hey, Roomie, how many hits we gonna get tomorrow? Ralph said, well, okay, let's get 6 in the room. I go for that. Ralph said, I get 4 and you get 2. Like, come on, man. And that's how it usually worked out too. But see, Cito took care of me and Ralph.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
But Ralph, you had no chance with Scrap and Ralph. That was Ralph's daddy, man. What
That's
you talking
right.
about?
He the one signed.
Nobody messed with Ralph when
that.
Scrap was around.
Yeah, but you was asking us about Hank. Hey, man, on the road with Hank, I mean, we go to Hank's room every night. Every night, and we talk, and it was really special. And Ralph and I were September call-ups almost every year. 68, 69, 70, 71.
Right.
In 69, I didn't go because I was in the military.
In the military.
And I didn't go in 69. But all the other years, especially 68, we'd go to Hank's room, with T-Bone, Tommy Aaron. Let's not forget him.
God bless him.
Right,
Hey,
big
man,
time.
hey, man, he was great. And so we'd go down there and talk with Satchel Paige.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every night. And we knew Satch was lying. But we didn't care because all we did was laugh. And
That's exactly right.
Hank liked to laugh.
He loved to laugh.
Okay, he loved to laugh. As serious as he seemed on the field, and he was, he was so focused. He was unbelievable. This guy was the smartest man, the hardest working man we ever seen, the most caring person. We didn't pay for nothing, right?
No, nothing.
As long as we were respectful.
Right.
He taught y'all to be a man, though.
He sure did.
Taught you to be a man.
I
But Ralph got to remember. You talking? Did you drop a? Did you drop a?
Yeah, he dropped a bunt on Satch.
He dropped a bunt down on Satch. Satch is 90
In
years old.
exhibition.
But I told people, but I didn't control. See, I was scared. I hit the ball back and hit him. See, I hit a lot of balls up the middle. I hit that ball up the middle a lot. And see, if I hit him with a line drive, wouldn't have been no more good, boy. But I tell you, I dropped the bunt down and set the guy. But I said, okay then. But
Got you? Dropped it down.
Boy, it was.
Ralph,
it was
we
beautiful.
can't tell the rest of that story.
Oh,
because
it's
that ain't
all
what you
good.
said. That's not what you said. That's not what you said. Can't tell it on there.
Can't tell it on there.
No, you
We'll
can't
bleep
tell
it out. We'll bleep it out.
Because we all always ask about dropping the bunt down on Satch, 90-year-old.
Yeah, they thought it said, but I'm gonna tell you one story about Hank, about me. Man, okay, so it was in '69, okay, when they won the division. Okay, so I'm coming up at the end of the year anyway. So but now coming up at the end of the year, it caused me to get 10 years instead of 9.5, and I thank God for that, because my first year, I hit 342 with 200 hits. I'd have been Rookie of the Year, I thought would have, but I was ineligible because I came up the end, so it enabled me to get 10 years. I'll trade that more so than Rookie of the Year.
Right, Gator.
Than Rookie of the Year. Okay, so it was 59. So I came up at the end of the year, and we was all there to party and everything after it was all over and everything, so we was all went out and we was having drinks and stuff, you know, and Cleet, Boy, and Negro and all of them, we'd had drinks and everything.
But Gator didn't drink.
No, I didn't drink. So Cleet Boy was driving the car and he got it in a hole and was stuck, like, you know. So Hank Aaron, you know, we all out there and they all strong. Hank Aaron was strong the bull, and they were pushing the car out, and Hank took his hand and pushed in the front light, and it just broke the front light, and it cut his hand all up, you know, cut his hand real bad. I said, oh man, the playoff finna start, and Hank, you ain't gonna be able to play with you. He said, well, Ralph, I don't know, I'll be okay. So they wrapped him up and everything. So he didn't practice or nothing. So I'm really worried about Hank. What's gonna happen? So he came in for game time. Okay, he came in, he went in the training room. The trainer took Novocaine, he shot a needle right in Hank's hand right there one time. He shot another Novocaine hand in Hank right there, and he shot another Novocaine in Hank's hand by himself. And he put on a black glove. And that's when they had Seaver, Selma, Cooper, all of them. He hit 350 with 3 home runs. I say he's not a human being.
Couldn't feel his hand.
That's all I'm saying. It was dead. But he hit 350 with 3 home runs with Tom Seaver and Cooper.
And see, Gator ain't lying. Now, see, he taught us how to play with pain.
Oh, big time.
I mean, he told us, you stay off that disabled list. He said, because, Gator, remember, me and Gator locker beside him, on either side of him. And he would walk in, limp in, couldn't walk. And we were like, man, how's Hank gonna play today? And then he'd go in the training room and he'd lay down a little bit and he'd think and he'd come back. Next thing we know, he'd run out there like Bob Hayes.
He was amazing.
I'm like, man, how this guy doing it? And then
he
walk out like Fred Sanford, walk back in, when he got to the field, he'd be like Bob Hayes, and then he'd walk like Fred Sanford back into the...
He was amazing.
I'm telling you, am I right, Gator?
You're exactly
Every
right.
day, and I was like, man, if this guy can do it, you know, we can do it. Because the rest of my career, I didn't go on the disabled list because of Hank Aaron and try to figure out a way to play. And Hank would say, hey, man, look, if your hand's hurt, make the ball be down, stay off the ball up here. You know, if something else is hurt, you get a little closer on the plate. Whatever you got to do, you try to figure out a way to help your team. And he also used to tell us, never come off the field without bringing something back, whether it's a run scored, an RBI, a hit, or something. He says, because, man, it's like stacking pennies. And he was the most consistent man that we've ever been around. I mean, ever. I mean, this guy, what he did, never hit over 44, but never hit under 40 or whatever it was.
Everything.
You know, but this guy, he could run the bases.
Everything.
I mean, everything. We never saw him make a mistake. He never threw to the wrong base.
Never.
I mean, he was always on top.
And how many times he struck out a year, Dustin?
Oh, no.
44 times? 40
At
times?
the most.
Well, he never struck out 100 times.
Never.
In the 40s.
Never.
In the 40s.
Oh,
he was the most amazing guy I seen. You know, and I figured out later, Hank was a front foot hitter. I don't know if you guys even thought about
Yeah, he sure
that.
would.
Yeah.
But his
Front-foot
hand
hitter.
would be back.
And his hands be back, but let me tell you, you throw him a slider down the way when he figured out he could pass Babe Ruth and home run, because when he's in Milwaukee, he'd hit ball right center, and left center, and center field, and left field. He started to pull the ball, and you throw him a slider down the way, he would rake that, he'd hit it out of left field. He'd go out there and do that to that ball inside the left field. It ain't out of right field. Well, they taught all us to hit the ball right field in that situation. He'd go down there with those wrists.
But Cito, we saw him before he was about to break the record.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And in spring training, he was practicing just hitting home runs.
He
Yeah.
sure would.
I swear.
Yeah,
And he
oh,
had
yeah.
like 11 hits and like 10 home runs in spring training.
Yeah.
And he was practicing hitting home runs. And I was like, no, ain't no way no guy will practice hitting home. But he did.
Oh, yeah.
And he knew what was coming almost
sure did.
all the time. He saw the shortstop move. I mean, he would see things that only he and Barry Bonds, who I coached,
Yeah, right.
they saw things that the rest of us didn't see. You know? I mean,
Well,
they
Hank,
knew what was coming all the time.
If you go back and look some tape of Hank hitting, which you looked at a lot of them, didn't you? So, to me, it looked like he was upset at that ball. He just attacked that ball, man. He'd come off the ground swinging at that ball, especially one up here.
Oh yeah.
He'd come off the ground swinging at that pitch, and so he's probably one of the greatest hitters I've ever been around. And of course, I was around Bonds too, another great hitter. But we talk about Hank right now.
He had the strongest hand.
Oh.
Hey man, he always had hand grips, and then one day he gave me a challenge. He got the Sunday paper. You know how many pages that is. And he folded it out, and then he balled it up from the center and threw it away, one page at a time. Then you get the next page and then go like this, throw it away. And then next thing, he said, okay, now your turn. So I got to like page 4, I think. Man, I was hurting so bad.
Boy, he was something.
Boy, cramping.
Because he was something. Man.
Oh yeah, and see, Gator used to crack him up.
No, man. I used to call him Soup. He
Soup.
soup all the time. I call him
He had a
Soup.
nickname.
He
Oh,
eat
yeah,
all
I
the
thought-
soup.
yeah.
He eat all the soup every day. I eat soup right now.
Yeah.
But he eat all the soup
And
every
see,
day.
and see, when Hank was going for the record, I mean, that was a tough time on him.
Right.
And it was a tough time with his family, you know, because he was getting divorced, and so Ralph and I were in charge of making him laugh on the plane.
Right.
How was that? I didn't even know about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but he was.
Oh yeah. I sit here, Gator sit there.
Right. You had
and,
to.
and then you know he'd go to sleep.
Where you
and I said, Gator, let's go, man. Let's go in the back. As soon as Gator and I get up,
Yeah, he was amazing.
where y'all
man.
going?
Oh, he was amazing. Okay, now you remember that home run? Him and Sabathia hit on a home run contest. Okay, so Hank, Sabathia come up. I think Sabathia was hitting ball, boom, dead center field, left center field, right center field, all over everything, 450 feet every which way. Hank Aaron came up. I think Sabathia. I think Hank ended up beating him by 2 home runs. But Cito hitting balls out all parts of the park. Hank had a space spot from that little yam right there in left field. He shot every one of them in the same place every time.
Same spot.
Every spot, every time.
No matter where the
I
pitch
think it
was.
was about 350 he did 351 hits, and he beat Sabathia by 2.
Hey, Gator,
It
I
was
think
amazing,
I
too.
can tell the story. Listen,
Yeah. Okay.
we're in New York,
Okay.
and Eddie Matthews was our coach. I was Hank's
Yeah,
teammate.
that's right.
So Eddie Matthews used to check me in Gator's room every night because
Every-
then they
yeah.
had curfew.
I'm surprised he was in.
That's right. That's right.
Hey man, so
He know Hank
hey,
does.
this ain't no lie. So he checked our room, and Eddie knocked on the door. Hey Eddie, how you doing? Where's Ralph? He said Ralph be in the bed. Oh Eddie, okay. Good night. So now, I said, "Okay, let's wait a few more minutes." We wait a couple minutes, and then we go down to Hank's room. You know, so Eddie come in there to Hank's room. You see those 2 little bastards? That's what he used to call us. You see them 2 little bastards? Me and Gator, we had to hide in the closet.
Oh, really?
We stayed in that closet. Eddie wanted to sit down and have drinks with Hank. Me and Gator stayed in that closet for about 3 hours.
He had some good times.
Oh yeah,
That Hank.
boy, we had some.
That Hank was something.
Good. So Hank, it seemed like, you know, y'all made him laugh. Y'all obviously saw him. Was he vocal? Did he talk a lot, or was he more of a leader by example?
That's more of a leader by example. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm talking about, it wasn't just us. He didn't. Every ball player, white, black, blue, yellow, orange, he treated everybody the same.
True that.
See, now he wasn't no just minority type kind of black guy. He was a teammate for everybody. Like Phil Negro and Cleet Boy and them, they loved him just like
Darryl
we
Ev-
did.
Darryl Evans loved him.
Every one
David
of them.
Johnson.
Every one of them loved
Marty
him. He
Perez.
was, Marty
yeah,
Perez.
yeah.
Everybody loved him. I'm talking about he would let me and Dusty stay with him, but he would let anybody stay with him. It wasn't as if he had a door lock against nobody. He was so open. He was just amazing, man.
Well, you're right about that because he let me room with him, so he let anybody stay with him.
Oh, man, all right.
He let me room with him.
To stay with him too. Me and Dusty stayed with him together.
You talk about him not talking, talking. Hank was kind of quiet. He was very proud of what he was and what he could do and all that, but you never hear it come from him. He was very, very quiet about that. And one day when he was the farm director for this organization, we in Carolina Lake, and he came over, and some kid from I think the Red Sox was in that place too with the Braves, and kid came on and said, Hank, he says, who's the hardest pitcher you ever faced? Hardest throwing pitcher you ever faced. So I want to hear that too, Sebastian. I want to know who did you face that threw hard? So the kid got right up to him close, and Hank didn't say a word. He just kind of walked down, and he's drinking a beer, and the kid went up again, got closer to him. And he asked him a question again, so I get close too because I want to hear it too, right? He looked at that kid, he says, I didn't face any.
Hard enough.
But
but he was
Mad at that ball looking like this.
But he did. Hey, Cito, I asked him who's the toughest pitcher he ever faced, and he told me Sandy Koufax.
Go look and see what hit off of it.
I know that. No. But listen. This ain't the end of the story.
I believe that.
So I get to the Dodgers, and I'm sitting in the bullpen during spring training talking to Sandy Koufax. So I say, hey, man, who's the toughest hitter you ever faced? He told me Bad Henry.
That's right. Both of them didn't like facing.
Yeah, both of them
did.
both of them were tough.
So y'all mentioned, I mean, if you didn't know the story and the history, Hank seemed to love everybody.
He did.
But in Atlanta, at that time, not everybody loved Hank.
You're right.
What was it like being his teammate, being around the game? Sarge, I'll go with you at that time when there was just division, there was hype, there was people rooting against for a number of different things. What was that like being in it?
Well, personally, again, in coming up in the minor leagues, having experienced a lot of different things, knowing like double duty and the plight that they had come up with, knowing some of the hate mail that he was getting, it would touch you in a way to where, only he knew or the people right around him what it was going to take to endure. And I think once personally that, all of that came over, it made it even more so that he was getting ready to get this thing here over with. And again, this playing against him, Dusty and I would really argue back and forth who was the better player, Hammer or Willie Mays, who I was blessed to grow up in. And looking back on it, it's almost like a unfair question to be able to ask because both of them endured quite a bit. Love to have seen Willie play, which we called it also the launching pad, which was Ted Turner Stadium, but they were able to adapt. You play where you play, you don't complain, and make your team better was basically our kind of philosophy. But playing against them, it just, you paid attention. I can tell you that.
But you talk about the launching pad. I don't think it really mattered because, see, Gator and I asked him one time what kind of gauge he had in his bat because we never saw him hit a tape measure home run. And if we was in Chicago, right, Gator, he hit it right in the basket. We go to Astrodome, he hit it in the front row. I'm like, Hank, what kind of gauge you got in this bat?
Exactly.
Am I right, Gator? We never saw him hit a home run a mile.
We were playing in Montreal, and Hank hit a ball in the wind, like, whoom. And the wind brought it back in, and he said, well, baby, he said, you blew that in back. He said, well, next time. Next time he hit one, the wind didn't even come close to it. He hit right through the wind. He said, well, blow that in back. Boy, he was just amazing to me of the way he did. And like he always said, want nobody to forget about Babe Ruth, but they don't want nobody to forget about him either. He never was in competition with Babe Ruth. He never did say nothing negative. He thought Babe Ruth was marvelous, but he just said that he didn't want nobody to forget nobody, but they didn't want nobody to forget him either. And I thought that was just marvelous. He didn't breed no negative around you. And me and Dustin, no matter how bad a day we was having, it wasn't nothing ever negative that he gave us to try to help us change or do better. And he was always encouraging.
And see, we never heard him brag.
Never.
I never heard him, because I was bragging. Hey, man, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm doing it today.
Exactly.
But Hank, he taught us, man, he didn't like no clowning. He didn't like you to showboat. And the thing he hated worse was a pitcher cheating on him.
Oh, throwing spitball. Him and Gillard Perry, he would foam at the mouth. Oh, man, he'd go crazy with that. But the next time up, he would just de-home you, boy. He could just, I don't know, man.
He could hit this ball so hard, man.
He was amazing. He didn't like no cheater.
No.
And now, I'll tell you, in his late life now, he didn't like the way some of the guys respected the game. It hurt him deep down and hard, He had so much respect for the game of baseball. And see, that really hurt him when some of the guys seem like they don't respect the game. And that really a part that he keeps quiet, that he don't never say too much about. But he was just amazing ambassador for the game of baseball.
And you know what he told me? He told me, sir, he says, Cito, we had a guy named Felix Millian on that team. You remember Felix?
Yeah,
Gaston. And he said to me, Hank didn't talk about anybody. No. He just said, I don't know if that kid's going to be a good player. And I said, man, to me, he looks like he's a pretty good player. So I said, why is that, Hank? He said, well, he brings too much back to the ballpark. He says, if you have a good day, you enjoy it. If you have a bad day, you look and see what you could have done better. But you don't bring it back to the ballpark the next day, whether it's good or bad. It's a different day, and you move on. And that's the thing.
It took me a long time to figure that out.
And
not until I had kids and a family, and then it was something else that was, I go home and then I can reset. My kids don't care if I went out and pitched 7 innings or I went out and gave up 7 runs in the first.
Right.
It's like dad's home, and it's like now I can reset the new day and then go back because it's every day.
Yeah.
So
sure.
That's great. See.
That was him.
That's great. But he could be done lost to everybody in his family just about. And when he get to the clubhouse, when he walked through that door, he was a different animal. Yeah. But I remember we was in New York. Now I ain't never heard Hank say nothing. Tom Seaver was pitching, and Hank had went to the plate. And you ain't never heard the same thing. Tom Seaver, he had to be throwing 150 miles an hour that day. Hank came back in the dugout. He said, boys, y'all ain't got to wait on it today. I said, well, shit, we just was gone home. but that's something.
But he always gave us a game plan.
Every time.
And I try to use that with my players. He said, if the ball's waist high with Tom Seaver, he said, you take it because by the time the catcher get there, it's going to be up there. But then back then they were telling us it was mathematically impossible for a ball to rise. I know what I saw. That ball, Tom Seaver dropped and drive, that ball was rising.
Sure would.
And then he told us like Steve Carlton. He said, for Steve Carlton, if it's spinning from the hips down, take it because it's going to be a ball. And see, like, this is long before scouting reports. I mean, he could tell by how you held your hands where you were most likely to hit the ball. If you hold them out, you're going to pull. If you hold them in, you're going to hit the ball the other way. And Hank would position us the same way that Willie Mays would position the guys on the Giants.
He was unreal at telling people what to play. And he'd be in center field and tell you what, play that ball, play that, and the ball would come every time.
That's what Hank had me. He ain't lying. Hank had me like standing right from me to Cito. I'm like, Hank, scoot over. He goes, you stay right there.
That's right. You stay right there. Don't you move. That's why they call Mays, say hey, he didn't know your name. Say hey, move over there. Say hey, move over there. And that's where the ball would come.
That's the truth.
I said, this is the darndest thing I ever seen.
So it's interesting y'all mentioned Willie, because there was I'm looking up Hank's numbers, and you look back and go, okay, he didn't win as many MVPs as I would have imagined he did. And one of the years he finished as third, and I'm like, who did he lose to? He was third, Willie was second,
talk to me.
And Ernie Banks was one.
Now,
I'm like, okay, all right, I can't be mad.
Curtis, here, now that you mentioned it, I asked Hank, I said, Hank, who motivates the motivator? You know, like who do you
That's
talk
right.
to when you
Right,
going bad? I mean, you the top of the baddest dude around. And he told me without hesitation, he talks to Stan the Man Musial. Remember, Gator?
They was good friends.
So I was like, man, I gotta meet him. Ah, dang. And I went to Stan the Man and I said, hey, I didn't call him that. I said, Mr. Musial. I said, Mr. Musial. I said, Mr. Musial. I said, what's your theory of hitting? And he told me, he said, I try to stay out of center field in the air.
That's all he told you.
That's all he told me. And I was like, dang, all them 382-foot fly balls.
Fly ball, you hit the center field, I'm caught on the track.
Right, exactly.
All right. So then now, y'all got a chance to be around, accomplish some great things for yourself, learn a lot, and all of y'all transition to either coaching, scouting, managing. How much of your experience playing, being around the greats like Hank and all the others we've talked about, helped you on that side of things when you had to be the one in control?
Well, I tell you, just the way that he talked to you, like the example I gave a few minutes ago about don't bring it back to the ballpark. The next day, whether you had a good day or a bad day, just move on. And you know what? The one thing, being around Hank, man, he was a winner. He's a winner. And to me, I think all of a sudden in this room who played baseball, man, we don't know what losing means. Anybody can be a loser. So I think it taught me to certainly carry myself that way as a manager. As a manager, I always felt like if the players think you're afraid, then they're gonna be afraid. Even if it's a tight situation, it's like bases loaded, if I pitch and nobody out, man. Hey, man, you know what? I got this. You say I got this, and you got it, don't you? You had it. And if Garr was up hitting with the bases loaded, he'd look out there and say the pitcher's in trouble. I'm not in trouble. He's in trouble. And so Ralph and Dustin and myself, that's the way it went down. And I learned so much from Hank as far as just being a man. He was a guy that just made you stand. Like Dusty said, he'd buy things, but he also makes you stand on your own 2 feet too. And I learned the game from Hank. The biggest mistake I ever made, I'm in the room with the guy. I didn't ask him about hitting. I must be some kind of dummy. Hank, I'm pretty sure you're going to ask Dusty this, but I hope I don't jump. Dusty, how was it hitting behind him?
Well, he told me, he said, look, he said, don't take it personal. And he says, at the same time, keep the ball off the ground in a double play situation.
All the time.
And he told me, he said, you fill up the room with singles and doubles, and that'll stop them from walking me so much.
Exactly.
And he said, don't try to hit a home run. You know what I mean? He said, you just make sure you drive them runs in.
Right. Now we had a lot of people. There's a lot of managers come out of this Braves organization. You go back and think about it. And we had some other coaches in this organization that taught us a lot too, along with Hank and one of Hank's good friends, Eddie Haas. You guys remember Eddie Haas, right?
Yeah.
Eddie Haas taught me a lot about the game too. And him and Hank played together. They're good friends. Hank was the farm director here. And since on that story, Hank called me 3 times to come and work with him. He didn't say work for him, come work with me, Cito. And I refused him twice. And the 3rd time, he said, man, come and work with me. And you know what? I would not be sitting here today. I would not have accomplished what I did as far as a manager if I had not came back with Hank. And he got me back in the game. And, I left here and went to Toronto, hitting coach, and then a manager. And we won a couple of Worlds. I give all that to Hank. I give it all to Hank. Without him, I wouldn't be here, man.
But again, don't hesitate. You became manager. What was the record when you took over the team?
And we were 12-24.
12-24. And what was the end result at the end of the season?
We won our division.
Won the division.
But as I said to you earlier, I'm not so upset about it. I'm not in the Hall of Fame. I'll probably go on there just like everybody else when you're dead. But anyway, I'm more upset about not ever being not manager of the year, because you're 12-24 and you won your division. Then you went back-to-back World Series champion. You still not manager of the year, and they will say, well, you had a good team. Well, so did everybody else was manager of the year. You can't win without a good team.
Every team that won the World Series is a good team.
You're a good team.
Every single one.
They can talk all they want to. You the best team. Yeah, you don't win no World Series not being the best team.
So that bothers me more than anything, that I was never manager of the year. This thing about being in the Hall of Fame, it would probably happen. And just to throw this out, it's amazing how, and Ralph, of course, Ralph's a really religious guy here, and I am too. But you know, if you go back and look at it, and I say to you, what was Jackie Robinson's number? 42, right? You know what my number was? 43. What's Hank's number? 44. Isn't that pretty amazing?
In the middle. That is.
That's pretty amazing.
Really is.
Without
Something to think
anybody
about.
putting that together,
Right.
saying you're gonna win. No, that's pretty amazing right there.
It's really amazing.
So it will happen one of these days. But of course, I have this plan. I'm gonna sign a whole lot of cards before I die, so my wife could take me, and she'd be a multi-millionaire. Maybe.
That's a good thing.
As far as what got you into coaching and your son, you know, having a son come up and play at the high level after
Right.
your career.
That's great.
Well, that is awesome, and I think too, Mays and Stargill and those guys really taught us kind of like having patience, you know, knowing that it takes work in order to be a good hitter, and it takes results in order for the hitter to believe in you, you know. And as a hitting coach, you know, I've always said, you want to be a great hitting coach, have great hitters.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, and I've been fortunate to be around, you know, some guys from Tony Fernandez or Carlos Delgado, you know, some guys that could care. And I mean, whew, those guys could get it done. But I've been on the opposite end, unfortunately, when I was with, you know, Milwaukee. And that's when I said, man, you got to have good hitters. I've never seen so many guys strike out during the course of the year.
Right.
No, I'm serious.
I
mean,
know that.
it was,
You ain't telling me
you know, 150-something and 90-something
Yeah,
time.
right.
You know, and then the general manager come in all the time, man. Well, where's Sarge at? Where's Sarge at in that goddamn hitting cage where I've been since this morning? You know, I'm easy to find, but man alive, it just pays to have some
hitter.
guys that can hit. And just a little bit about Ted Williams, I talked with him. He said he saw the ball hit the bat every time. Tony Gwynn saw that. And I'm going like, God damn, every single time?
That's what I
But they mean that. Bill Buckner, a lot of people don't talk about him.
He could hit.
I saw him put a dot on the bat and get through with batting practice, and the dot was gone. I witnessed that myself. But he's hitting the ball in the same spot off that iron mic. I mean, there was, you know, Pete Rose until blisters and he's bleeding and so on. Still not enough. Still didn't hit it right. And once he gets it, then, you know, he leave it alone. But they taught us to just keep pushing, you know. And Jackie Robinson really was what I call the gentleman that carried the cross for us,
Amen.
you know. And he endured probably more than we could even think of. But again, we had a taste of that in the minor leagues, playing in Arkansas and some of these, you know, different cities. And when they tell you, hey, it ain't a good time to go out tonight, you paid attention to that.
You sure did.
You know, you were there in the hotel. But, you know, I'm glad to have grown up in that era where you learn to respect. You know, in today's game, and I get it, you know, the respect factor isn't there the way I thought we did to Willie Stargill and Hank
right.
and so on. And, you know, I use it a lot of times. They think maybe you want something or this or that. And I can honestly say the guys up here don't want for anything. Okay?
Talk to
anything.
me. That's for
sure.
That's positive.
And Junior and Plain, for me, having him make the All-Star and my grandson sitting there, and he ended up getting a hit there in Pittsburgh, stands out a lot. And my nephew, Darren Baker, getting his first hit in the major leagues was
That's
emotional.
wonderful.
And I'm sure you've seen it. Melissa was standing up clapping, and old cool Dusty as usual.
He wouldn't even get up.
Sitting down, don't even get up like, hey, it's been there. Oh, without a doubt.
I get in there.
It's a great feeling. And one other thing, I'm going to get off the subject a little bit.
Go.
That the soul food restaurant, mine is Sweetie Pies in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
And
All right.
I would go there and I forget the other fried chicken place I go to, and we go back and forth.
You know somebody eat chicken every day?
I know some good chicken places.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, in Florida, Yoder's, this Amish place, man, it don't get better than that.
All right, I love it.
For sure, but yeah, Sweetie Pies and getting a chance to know them kind of in the family, and I'm telling you, it's just hard not to go there when you're in St. Louis.
But even your legacy too with Dale, like what he's doing with the youth, and like, I mean, it's awesome to see that, and like for me having boys that I want to raise in the game, I hope that they will be able to do what your boys have done and like what you've been able to do in the game.
Yeah, man, thank you
Dale's
so
my
much.
godson.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, Dale's your godson.
Yeah, see, Dale, my godson.
Yeah.
He with them kids all the time. I watch him on television. Boy, he just so. I just cry inside when I see him. He's so good with them kids, man. I just thank God for him every day.
When you have
and you can tell he enjoys it. That's what I like about it. He enjoys it, helping them kids, man.
He does enjoy it. And one of the toughest things is when you have a son like that and one that is already almost to the major league to tell him, man, it's time to kind of maybe move on. Yeah. Because now you have bust their dream. Yeah. You know, they see their brother do it, and I've had 2 sons. Right. You know, I've had to tell that too. Right. And, you know, Delvin persevered in the fact of all the internships or I remember when he was in New York, he says, Dad, you need to be rich to live here in New York, you know, for sure. But, you know, he made it, hard work, has a great wife. I got great grandkids, and hey, man, life is good, you know. Fishing and worried about a 5-foot putt from right to left. That's about it.
I love that.
Okay? That's about it, you know, and being able to hang out and fish with Dusty like we do. Going out there to the lake, because you know he loves to fish. Anywhere we go, hey man, well, where's the lake? You know, so
Dusty called the shooting test.
No, Sarge. Hey, Sarge got the most that day.
He got the most?
Yeah,
Sarge,
yeah.
Hey man, it's not competition. It's the camaraderie.
Oh,
yeah.
All right, that's the way it is, boy.
You know, I mean, we used to fish with J.R. Richard.
Right.
Hey man, if anybody throw harder than J.R. Richard these days, I want to know about it.
He be handing that ball to you when you get up there, man. J.R. Richard, he was my homeboy. Me and him raised together. Went to the same high school.
He did all the time.
And my whole leg was dead. I said, did I hurt your homeboy? Did I hurt you? I said, man, you like to broke my leg. He said, I wasn't intending to hit you. He run off the mountain. Did I hurt your homeboy?
Daddy, he was doing that on purpose. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now.
Boy, he was a mess.
He was doing that on purpose.
If Gator wasn't in town, he hit Gator. He wasn't even in town, he hit you.
But you know, I didn't really have much. But it's just, man, I've just really been blessed, man. You know what I'm saying? Like now, I've been working in the Braves operation and working for them about 45. The Braves have been good to me and my family and all the people that I've been associated with. That's one thing I can say about the Braves. Now, you can say what you want to say, and Hank Aaron left a legacy for us, but the Braves have been a wonderful organization as far as sharing and caring and helping. And so I have to really take my hat off to the stuff that they do. And like I told you, I've been with them 45, and I'm still with them all working for the Braves. So the organization that do all these things, like he said about the Pirates, you know, Major League Baseball has been marvelous. We've given a lot to it, but it is in return giving us a chance to share with one another, and that's a good thing. And this minority, this little historically black, it's amazing how Major League they and them treat them kids. Let me tell you, CC, they don't short them kids nothing. They come here, they got hats, socks, everything, and they got the top of the line of everything. I just have to give Major League Baseball so much credit for that. And Curtis and you and the Players Alliance, man, y'all, It ain't easy what y'all do, but we thank God for all the stuff that y'all do, and it's so important that they allow y'all to do what y'all do.
And so proud of,
really
so proud of both of you.
I'm so proud of all the people that work, no matter
exactly.
who they are.
Everybody here
because
too.
it's not easy what y'all do, CC.
But you know what?
Watch what you say or do. You know what I'm saying?
Ralph, it wouldn't be nice if I didn't tell this story real quick. You just said something about your son, right?
Yeah.
You had to tell him to look for something else.
Yeah.
Hank Aaron had a son that played baseball. Bill Lucas had a son that played baseball. They played in Braves organization. I had him in the minor leagues. Hank had to call him into his office when he was farm director and said, "You boys need to find something else to do." That's a tough job, isn't it?
Well, like Ralph,
That's a
well,
tough
like
job.
Boogman.
Yeah, my son, right. My son, but
How long he been scouting?
25 years. He went to Philly. Yeah, he was drafted. He did good.
Yeah.
He would do it. And
That's my
thing,
godson,
you know,
too.
situation, timing is everything.
I'm Uncle Dusty.
And see, the people's in charge was more or less for me. Well, when it changed, you can't do nothing about that. But my son was able to come in and go to Scott School. That's what I'm saying. Our baseball has been good for all of us and given an opportunity. He went to Scott School. See, he signed that Walker kid that still in the big league, and Shelby Miller, guys that's got longevity that he signed and stuff. And he been working for 25 years, and he worked for the Phillies now. He got his own home and everything, very independent. Don't ask me for nothing, I thank God for that. And so he's really doing real well, you know what I'm saying? And he loved baseball. See, that's the reason he started ain't up here now, because he has to be in Philadelphia for the draft and stuff, because they be trying to roll over there, and they got a good organization, but them Philadelphia Phillies, I don't know why they hadn't won more, because they definitely they got three, like the Braves. We used to have Maddox, Glavine, and Smoke. They got Wheeler and that Quarez and Query over there. I don't know what's going on. They got hitters, they got catchers. I don't know why they got beat up by Arizona. I said, man, what is base? You can't figure this game out. Because the Phillies got 3 number 1s over there, and they struggling. I don't really know what to do. Maybe they need Dusty Baker, but I'm
There you go. That's
I leave it alone.
it. He's the only one that can fix
Oh, yeah,
situations.
man.
We
He
know
wins
that.
He
We
wins
know that.
every way he ever been. He
We
won.
know that.
So
We
that
know
was
that.
amazing to me. If he didn't have nothing, I don't know what he do to people, but they managed to play real hard for him.
I was hating the
It was
Astros.
amazing.
Hating the Astros. Then he
they
got over there.
hate you, too.
You can't not. I can't hate the Astros, man. Dusty over there.
He got me going to the game every day.
They all
Now with
got-
Astros.
yeah.
He got me loving Astros right now. Man, I said, man,
Change
he's
the whole
amazing
perspective
to
of
me.
an organization. One man.
He called me in COVID. I had got DFA from the Diamondbacks during COVID. He called, said, son, you know I'm over here in Houston now. You want to come play? I said, Dusty, man, my wife over here panicking. I said, but if it is a place I would have came to play for you in Houston, and I had just come from Oakland where we was getting into it with Houston. I said, Dusty, if anybody could have made me play for Houston, it would have been you.
Yeah, but you was still pitching.
I'm still pitching.
Yeah, you was still
I
pitching.
said, had my wife not been scared, I would have come over there and play for you, Dusty.
Listen, I'm proud of you. Listen, I'm so proud of you young brothers here.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
guys,
am too.
you guys are like taking it to another level. And like I said, I'm just glad to be here with you guys. And especially, I knew CC when he was like 12 years old. He came to my camp, and it's like now he's giving back even more.
Way more. I'm talking about he
But
just so
it
old.
comes from like what you guys started though. It's the same thing. We're all friends just like you are. Like we started this because we're close.
Right.
And every
That's
time we get
wonderful.
together, it's just like this. It's a family reunion, but it comes from being raised by you guys. Like and having a chance to meet Dusty at 12 years old and go to his camp, and then I'm a counselor, and and he's taking interest in me. Like that really changed my life. Meeting Dave Stewart at 9 years old changed my life. So like I always wanted to be that, not just a baseball player, but that person in the community that walks in the Boys and Girls Club, that's like visible, that you can see. So, I mean, it comes from you guys. And that's why I think we wanted to do this panel and sit here with you guys, because I feel like we owe this to the game, to you guys, to Hank, to Willie, to Jackie, to keep it going and, raise the next generation of players.
And Hank felt the need to satisfy Jackie, because
Big time.
all the time he opened
All
up
the time.
his mouth, he talked about how Jackie motivated him when he first saw
you
Jackie
said that.
Robinson as
Right.
a kid.
I think a big, not to cut you off, Carl, I think a big thing too is how y'all talk about how Hank talked to y'all and made y'all believe y'all belonged in the big leagues. Y'all talked to us and everybody y'all talked to and made them believe they in the big leagues. We talk to the community, to these kids, and make them believe they need to be in the big leagues or they got the ability to be in the big leagues. Without somebody telling you that you can do it, you don't think you can do it necessarily as the kid, especially nowadays without the resources. So like you say, these kids coming up, they got the gear, they got the swag, they got the look. When they going back home, they may be playing teams that's well dressed and they coming in not well dressed, not even unified, and they don't feel like they belong. So us being able to feel like we belong, these kids feeling like they belong, and y'all feeling like y'all belong from Hank, it's the pattern of somebody telling you you good enough to be there, you got the tools to be there, and you belong there. Without hearing that, you don't believe it necessarily.
And then there's Edwin as the founding board member of the Players Alliance. Cito, you said something that's key to why a lot of this happens. You said, I'm gonna probably get in the Hall of Fame when I'm dead and gone. We don't wanna see that happen.
No.
We want y'all to know what y'all mean to not only us, but the next generation, while you're here. We want to say thank you for everything y'all did to pave the way for us.
But Cito motivated me big time.
Yeah.
Oh, huge.
You need to be able to hear it.
And see,
Oh yeah, but I tell him all the time because see, the card that I'm most proud of is a card that has me and Cito as managers on
I
the
have
same
that
card.
card, by the way.
Yeah, and now
Yeah,
I
I
just
got
got
that
another card. It has me and my son on the card. You know, I mean, that is so cool. You know what I mean? And it's like Cito, I wanted to win. After I won, people asked me, "What were you thinking about? Were you happy?" No, I was thinking of back-to-back because I wanted to be like Cito. I called Cito and told Cito, I said, Cito, I'm gonna manage another year or two because I want a back-to-back because it hadn't been done since about 20 years or something like that.
yeah, been long. Yeah, that don't happen too good. That's hard to do, though.
Thank you, Dusty.
That's
I
hard
appreciate
to
that.
do.
Oh,
Thank
Cito, you know that.
Yeah, but that's real. Like me, I like it. I'm thinking I done had a great year and hit 17 triples. I said, that's great. Curtis Granderson, I hit 22. So I said, well, see how we trained him? I said, that's what I did. I trained him, and he kept getting up. He didn't stop at 17. He kept going. That makes me proud. You know what I'm saying? It made me feel
that's
good.
it, that's it.
So we gonna
That's
call
beautiful.
him a baby runner.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Well, I appreciate y'all taking this time, and like we said, we want to say thank y'all. We could have kept going and let y'all
Oh, man,
keep
it's beautiful.
just talking and just sitting back and just hearing the stories and letting the audience learn and understand. You talked about just the respect for the generation that paved the way, getting those stories out there, getting those behind the scenes, letting them know who y'all are that helped make us. That's going to help make these next generation of all-stars and young future Hall of Famers come through. So thank you on behalf of the Players Alliance for being here in Atlanta, place where Hank hit 715, place where Dusty was on deck when that happened, place where y'all got a chance to establish and create and build your careers both on and off the field. So thank you very much for being here with us. We're excited to do this and look forward to hearing more and more stories.
Thank you so much.
All right,